Hi, my name is Savannah, and welcome back to the Sewlivi Dyes Yarn podcast. Again, just like last week, I lost everything that I filmed already, which I don't understand. I don't know if it's when my screen goes dark or what is happening, but it all disappeared again. So here we are trying again. Again, hopefully this will go faster then. So, thank you for putting up with what goes on over here. We're going to dive right in. I have very little knitting, only because that's all I'm showing. I did work on quite a few projects, but a lot of them have just like this much, not very noticeable progress. So why show them, I suppose? So I'm only showing you two, I guess, new starts and a finish. I have some sewing and then acquisitions. So let's dive right in and get this filmed. Okay, so knitting wise, I got the academic sweater by Skeins Knits, or Skeins. I got it finished, and it's way too small for me. It is almost too small for my mannequin back there. It's a very tight squeeze on her, but it fits my daughter wonderfully. This was a pretty quick knit. I can't remember exactly how many days it took me to knit this, but not that many. Gosh, it feels really nice and soft. The yarn is from Emilia and Philomene. It was part of the Christmas in Scotland box from Les Garçons. 2 Christmases ago, it was like a mini advent box. I knew I wanted to put all the yarn together, so that is what I did here. Yeah, project page has the name of all the colorways listed if you want to check that out. I believe there's only one colorway that is being currently carried out of this anyways, and that is the Isle de Skye colorway, and you're not even going to be able to tell it, but I believe it's this lighter brown color right here. I think that is the only color that is currently carried by this company. But yeah, so I had to steek the armholes and the neck. And I mean, I managed, as you can see. It was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I did a crochet. I did the crochet reinforcement, but I don't think it was well enough. I probably should have sewed everything down as well, because when I went to go ahead and pick up the neckband and the armholes for the ribbing, I was getting holes. Like some of the yarn was actually pulling apart. And none of this is superwash either. None of this yarn is superwash yarn, so that was really, really sad. So I have a lot of spots where I went in and kind of like took some yarn and was sewing up the holes as I was going. So I don't know how long this will last, but at least I got the yarn out of stash. I made something beautiful. That's all that really matters. So yeah, everything is linked down below if you want more information. I have all my socials, and then I usually link the actual projects to my Ravelry, so you can go straight to them if you prefer. Or I do write out the name and the designer, so you can Google search that yourself if you'd like, and you can't use Ravelry. That is up to you. So yes, I'm gonna constantly like move my mouse around so that the screen doesn't go dark, and hopefully it does not cut the recording again, because I don't know if that's it. All right, I believe this is a new start, but I started the Shorty by Ann Wenzel. It is a beautiful, it has these lace lines down the whole thing. I started this and it's kind of slow going, so it is 2 yarns held together. This is Pearl Soho's Linen Quill in the Bird's Egg Blue colorway. So this is a merino alpaca linen blend, and then this one is a lace weight. It is Knit Picks Shadow Lace in the cobweb color, and I believe it is a merino silk blend, but I can't remember for sure. Do I have the tag over here? Yeah, I do. Oh, no, just 100%. Just 100% merino wool. It's just a merino wool, and then this is the merino, alpaca, and linen. I'm getting this beautiful pale blue color. This is not going as fast as I thought it would, to be honest, because I'm just doing the shoulders right now, because you do the shoulder bit and then you split and do the front and the back and then join under the sleeves. So it's a little different, but that's okay. I am working this up on a US 4 or a 3.5 millimeter, which is actually 2 needle sizes larger than called for. So there is that. Also, I noticed right here, so you're doing like yarn overs, right? But you also have to do backward yarn overs. So at first I was a little confused by that. But on hers, it doesn't look like she has these holes in between this. This is your like seam that goes across the top of your shoulder. It doesn't look like she has these holes, but some people do. So it's probably just my knitting. You can see here I was doing my yarn overs wrong at first, and then it got better. And then I think it was because I was forgetting to do the backward yarn over, and then when I'd come back to this, I'd actually just pick up a stitch like it was a yarn over. This side was really bad, because this is it's not even the beginning of the year. But you can see I was not doing them very good at first. Maybe not, they're looking better, but I noticed that when I'd come to it, I'd realize I forgot to do my backwards yarn over. So again, it's almost like you're just picking up a stitch in between, and yeah, either way. So yeah, I was just like, man, I gotta do all this, and then I have to split for sleeves. But that's okay. This is gonna be really pretty when it's done. So yeah, I'm working on that, or I was working on that. And then a very impromptu new start fell into my lap. Just the other day. Veronica Lindbergh I forgot what her YouTube name is, but she just released a new pattern called the Salty Days sweater, and it was really, really pretty. So I kind of was like, well, let's swatch what I have and see what happens. So this is where I misinterpreted the yarn that she used. I thought she was using a DK weight, but in actuality she was using a DK plus mohair to make a worsted weight. But in the pattern it says you could use a single strand of either DK or worsted, just make sure to get gauge kind of thing. So I initially started with DK, some old stash. I believe this gray one is a Lions brand. Feels like alpaca in their silver colorway. It has this really pretty like black fibers heathered in. I really liked this look, especially for this sweater. I thought it would be really pretty, but it's a DK weight and I could not hit gauge at all. This is, I believe I cast on 24 or 25 stitches because you needed 17 stitches after blocking, so I cast on a few more. Probably not enough, but this isn't even 4 inches, so I knew my gauge was not right at all. This was some other DK weight I had in stash, but as you can see, it's even more see-through, so that wasn't going to work at all. And this one I think is 100% acrylic. This one was acrylic and alpaca. It would have been lovely to do it in this one, but did not work. I could not hit gauge. So I tried 2 DK weights, worsted weight yarns I have in stash that have sweater quantities, but these were already slotted for different projects. And so I was a little nervous about that. I know, how tiny are these? I don't like swatching, so I make the smallest swatch I can possibly make. Not that swatches are accurate half the time anyways for me, so I do small swatches because I do need to see, because I know that I am a relatively tight knitter. I always get more stitches than needed for 4 inches, so I like to have some kind of guess, even if it's not going to be perfect. Anyways, I got 20 stitches per 4 inches on both of these yarns, and I'm using a US 8 needle, which is a 5 millimeter. That's what the pattern calls for. So this first one right here is Wool of the Andes Tweed in the Dove Heather way, which is wool I forget exactly what it is, but obviously it has the tweed in there too. But it's wool. And I love the stitch definition, but I had already slotted this for a Felix cardigan. And since this sweater, to me, it feels like a summer sweater, I wanted something that was going to be not as warm. I don't know, I could be wrong and this could be way too warm, but I figured I'll just save this one for the Felix cardigan, and get to that at some point. But also, I hate gauge swatching when the pattern, or when the swatch has to be in something other than stockinette stitch. I have a really hard time counting the stitches, especially before blocking. I have a really hard time. When I swatched for this one, I had a hard time trying to count around the lace bit. Like, I was like, how do I count this? So I kind of just guesstimated, but I got 20 stitches-ish. What I'm assuming is 20 stitches per 4 inches for both of these. So now this yarn, this is a hobby, or Hobai. I don't know how you pronounce it. Hobby is what I think it is. The Divina base, which is 65% alpaca, 25% polyamide, and 10% merino. The colorway for this one is just number 28, so I'm not sure, but if you look at it in the ball up close, to me in the camera screen it looks like blues and greens. So and outside of that it does just look like a blue-green sage color. So I originally purchased this yarn. I have like 9 skeins of this. I originally purchased it for the Ridgeline Duster by Knititude, and that was a couple years ago. Since then, I've realized that I am not a big fan of dusters. I have a couple store-bought ones, but I don't reach for them very often anymore. So I don't think I want to waste my time using this to make that. And then I thought I could use this yarn to make a Miles shirt jacket by Ozetta. That takes the worst away. I just don't know if I'd be able to hit gauge with this. I did just think when I was recording this originally, I thought, I'm like, I have the Knit Picks version of this, which is called Wonder Fluff. I have a bunch of brown, like a tan color. Maybe I could use that to make either a second one of these, or I could use it for another shirt jacket. I don't know yet. But I thought maybe this would be better because to me it feels more airy since this is a chainette, you know, so it does feel more airy than this. So I thought this would be a better choice. So I am going with this. I just did the, there's a website that I like to use. Well, it's a blog post that has a program in it that you can use. So you can put in the patterns gauge, your gauge, and then your size, and then it'll tell you which size to knit. So I just make sure to add my positive ease to my number of, you know, because it asks for your circumference, and I just add the ease to that, and then it tells you what size. So it's technically, even though I'm getting 20 stitches, it still says to make the with the positive. Ooh, you know what? Shoot. See, this is what gets me confused. So it tells you what size to make based off of your gauge compared to the patterns gauge. And I thought I could be sneaky and add in the thing to mine, and it still told me to make, but that might only make it fit my exact body. Maybe I should have taken their number they said to make and then added the, I'll have to look into that. Add the positive ease onto that number instead of my number. I'll take a look at that. You know what? I'm going to do it right now because I need to know. So the blog post, or the blog is called knitterskitchen.com. And I'll have this link below. I believe I've linked it in the past, but I'll link it below. And then her blog post is called Knitting Math, Recalculating Your Size. So she's got like this little program in there, and you can just put it in. Pattern stitch gauge was 17 per 4 inches. I got 20. My typical size, well, I'm a 36, 37 inch bust, so I'm just going to go ahead and put 36 inches in. It says make the 42, the size 42 inch. I mean, they have centimeters too, so you don't have to convert anything if you don't want to. Let's see here. Where is the... Now my computer is freezing. I hope this is still recording. Kutovakitka? I think that's who she is. All right, let me go back up to sizes. Finished garment size. If I want... All right, 42 plus, let's see, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Yeah, no, okay. I'm still making the correct size. So I'm still making a medium size, even with my gauge being off as it is. It's only a, she says it's a 6 to 8 inch positive ease or 15 to 20 centimeter positive ease. According to her, she knit the small size, and then she put her bust size as well, but that gave her more than 8 inches of positive ease. So I'm hoping for the best. Either way, whichever way it goes, I am doing this and hoping. I mean, this has got alpaca in it. It's gonna grow a little bit. I know it'll grow lengthwise, that's for sure. But yes, I decided to go with this yarn. Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have undyed worsted weight yarn that I could have potentially hit gauge with, but because I had a previous gauge in only stockinette, and I was given 15 stitches per 4 inches on a US 7, so if I went up to an 8, I could have potentially got 17 stitches. I'm not sure if that would have happened in the ribbing, the 2x1 ribbing, but I didn't want to dye yarn. And the only reason why I didn't want to dye the yarn was because I hate when I dye too much and then I feel like I'm wasting a skein. And then also, for some reason, I've had this worsted weight yarn, like undyed worsted weight yarn, in my stash for a few years now. And I feel like I'm saving it for like the most perfect thing, and I don't know what that is yet. And so I don't want to dig into it. So yeah, let me just show you what I got. I hope it's still recording. So this is what I've got so far. I started this just yesterday. Yesterday evening, really. And this is a little Mario Superstar. It's facing the wrong way. Mario Superstar. This is the right side, so that's why I have this marker on here, but I'll keep that on this side so I know it's the right side. But yeah, this is the upper back piece, and then so I'm going to finish that up, and then you connect on the sides for your shoulders, so it's a drop shoulder construction. It's going to stretch out really nice, so I think this will be good. A good sweater to have. I'm not entirely sure this is the best color for me. I don't know. And I won't know until it's finished, but I thought if I don't love the color on me when it's done, I'm going to take this swatch and I'm going to over dye it and see what happens. And then maybe over dye this if everything turns out, if I want to. I always say that and then it never happens, but you know, you never know. I don't know if this is the best, again, I don't know if this is the best color for me, so what do you think? Is this a good color for me? I don't know. Anyways, so that's it for the knitting. I have worked on my half and half triangles wrap. I worked on it this morning at church. I got about an inch done in an hour. The rows are getting really long, but I'm hoping to get that done in May. I doubt it, but that'd be nice. I've worked on my Georgia sweater. I got both ties finished, and I'm working on the first sleeve. First sleeve's really big, though, so it's taking a little bit of time, but that needs to get done in May really badly. What else? It looks like that's all. You know, I worked on the vest. That's about it, I guess, other than the short tee, and then now the Salty Day sweater. So, oh, excuse me. Let's jump into sewing real quick. So I had a little accident. So I got my PDF patterns, the A4 sizes. I got those in the mail this week. So I spent a majority of the day yesterday tracing out the pattern pieces onto some of this tracing interfacing material stuff you can get at Joann's. I really like having this stuff because it's easier to store. That way I can keep the patterns in one big roll, which I actually, you're not going to be able to see. That box right here, this box, I have a bunch of rolled up patterns in. But, so I traced them out. I bought 5 yards of this stuff and it was enough to trace out 3 full patterns. So I was very grateful there. So I got that done. And then I cut out the fabric for my first dress, the Audrey dress, which I talked about last video. So I got that cut out yesterday, and my friend, she brought over her serger since mine is not working currently. Hers is amazing. Absolutely love this thing. It is a Baby Lock Celebrate, which is beyond affordable for me, so I need to be very careful with it, but it is so lovely. So I was able to use that real quick, and then I had to get into shirring. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm sorry about the lighting. So I started this, and you work on your home machine for that. So pattern says that to get the shirring to do, you're going to test it a few times on some scrap fabric to get the right tension, or, to see what your tension is like, and then you can adjust from there. So I did that and realized, the pattern says adjust your bobbin casing tension if need be, which at that moment in time I did. I needed to adjust it because it was all wonky. And so they say, when I googled how to adjust your tension on your bobbin casing on a Brother sewing machine, because I have a Brother SQ9185. I think you can only get that at Walmart. It's a good machine. I've had it for years. Anyways, so I pull this thing out, and I don't know if you can see, there's these 2 screws here. So this one is a Phillips screw, and they say leave that one alone completely. Do not touch that. You will break this thing. So I was like, okay. They say to adjust your tension, there should be a flathead screw. My flathead screw was covered in a dark, well, not a dark, but a green, hard, substance. I don't know. It was covered. You couldn't get to it. And I was not smart to Google why that was before I decided to start chipping it off so I could turn this screw. Well, I managed to chip some of it off and rotate the screw a little bit. So I was like, okay, let's try this. Worked perfectly. Oh, also, you have to use an elastic thread, so you have to hand wind it onto a bobbin. That's why this is the way it is. So I got several of these lines finished. I have a few more I need to do on this one, and then the whole other half of the dress. But look, everything was going well, and then I get to this, I run out of the elastic thread on the bobbin, so I pull it out so that I can rethread some more. And then I go help my kids with something, and I come back, and then it does all this. So I believe that means the tension is too loose. I didn't do anything. I just took the bobbin out, refilled it, put it back in, and that happened. So I took this out, picked off more of the green stuff, and tried rotating some more. And then went back to practicing on my scrap. And no matter what I did, no matter how tight I screwed that thing, it kept giving me lines like that. It kept giving me scribbles. Well, there's scribbles on this side. Just could not get it fixed. I even went ahead and put in regular thread back on the bobbin. And I'm not entirely sure if it's just because of the color of the thread on the fabric, but, oh, you can't. You can see the bobbin. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look. Probably. That one's probably fine. No, I can see the bobbin thread through the fabric wherever I used. Oops. So I don't know. So I was really, really mad. I was really mad that this was not working. I was so frustrated. I wasted a whole bunch of this stuff, so I'm going to have to buy more to finish this dress, but I decided to Google and ask why there was green stuff on my bobbin casing, and come to find out it's because they did not want you to mess with that screw. They did not want you to mess with it. So this is pretty much broken. So I've ordered another piece, but it won't be here until Friday. So I'm really bummed that all my sewing plans are out the window at this moment. I'm trying to flip it to be positive and just let myself at least cut all the pattern pieces out for all the projects I'm going to work on. That way they're all prepped and ready to go when I do get this new stuff. And I think I'm going to work on all those other projects before I get back to doing this dress and the shirring that is on it. Because from what I can tell, from what I've seen on internet, is they want you to mess with all the other tension dials and whatnot on the machine before, you know, you should not be messing with this at all. So I don't understand why, you know, I mean, I believe some machines you're allowed to mess with this, but for some reason on mine, you're not allowed to, so really sad that I messed this up. So yeah, the dress is just gonna sit there, but again, I'm going to just cut out all the other patterns, you know, cut out the fabric pieces while I wait for this to come. So yeah, that was my big boo-boo. So yeah, that's it. I got a big old mess of, I got my fabric, I got all the tracing interfacing cut out. I do have one pattern that I recently got that needs to be put together like this. It's called the Tommy Jean Skirt by Style Arc. It's a new pattern they just released, so instead of sending it to a PDF plotter, I figured I'll just do this way for now. Just get it done and over with. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Now, the acquisitions, if you are so inclined, if you're not interested in seeing any of that stuff, that's okay. You may go watch someone else or go about your day. I don't mind, but I have quite a bit of acquisitions I can show. So let's dive right in. This is Holst Garn, but this is in the Coast base, which is 55% 55% wool and 45% cotton. This stuff is so soft. It's very dangerous because, so I love Holst Garn, and I have several cones of their super soft, which is 100% wool. I really love that stuff, but it is woolly. It's toothy. This is really soft. And so now I'm going to want several cones of this. So this one I purchased because it was on sale, and I wanted to try this base. So I bought some cakes as well. Like I originally was just going to buy a couple cakes to make a thing, but then this was on sale, so I was like, why not just get things? So this colorway is called Black Currant. It's very lovely. It is like a grape color, but it's heathered with silver. It's really pretty. So I have some thoughts. It's really thin. It's a fingering weight, so it's really thin. I'm very curious on how this is going to block, so I'm going to need to make a swatch soon and block it and see how nice it is. But this is so gorgeous. I'm thinking of doing it's called the Knus Light by Elsbeth Judith, I think. It's kind of like a Guernsey style where it's different textured patterns, but it's a t-shirt. So I think this will be great for that. And then I bought 4 skeins of this one. So as you can see, it's Coast. This is the colorway Putty. 55% lamb's wool, 45% cotton, 50 grams, 350 meters by 383 yards. This one is a 500 gram skein, and that is all that it doesn't even tell you 500 grams, but it's a 500 gram skein. So I bought 4 of these. This is very light. It's a very light gray that leans blue for sure. And I thought I could do the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca of the CreaBea. That pattern is not released yet. I think it'll be released within the next week or two, I think. But I figured I could do that if I hit gauge. I don't know. I think it's a DK weight sweater, so I would have to hold this double. It's really nice, really soft. I was not expecting it to be this soft. So that's one yarn purchase. The next one was Wool Warehouse. I purchased Drops Alaska, This is the black or a 06 color. It's 100% wool. It's 50 grams per 77 yards or 70 meters. It's not exactly what I was thinking when I ordered it. It looks like it's a high twist 2-ply. I don't know, can you see it? I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe right there. I did not expect that. I've never used this before, so I'm hoping that it works out and makes a lovely fabric. So I plan to use this to make the Slow Down sweater by Lily Kate France. It's a V-neck sweater with like big poofy sleeves, but it's got a lace, like you use mohair, like one strand of mohair to do part of the V-neck. So it's kind of like this, like my tank top, where it'll be sheer here and then the rest of it's solid. And then you have a little bit on your cuffs and then I think on the hem. I'm not going to do it on the hem, but I like it on the cuffs and then the neckline like this. So I'm just hoping that this makes a lovely fabric. I did not realize it looked like this. So that's a bunch of horse weight. There's 16 balls in here. I think I spent a total of 25 pounds, British pounds. The only thing I'm a little sad about with Wool Warehouse is they changed their shipping options. I used to be able to order from them and then get DHL international shipping for like British pounds, and it'd be here in like 3 or 4 days. They don't have that option anymore, so it takes about 2 weeks to get to me, but that's okay. And last yarn purchase, this one is from About Strings. They're out of Canada, but they sell on Amazon. Now this is the type of yarn I would have hoped that the Drops Alaska would look like. This is all DK though. This is the About Strings Lazy DK. About Strings Lazy Wool, but it's called Lazy DK, which is a 55% extra fine merino wool, 25% cotton. This is a 50 gram ball, so 100 meters or 109 yards. This stuff is really pretty. See, I kind of wish the Drops Alaska. See, this in a worsted weight would have been better, I think. But, so on their website, or at least Amazon, I guess their website too, you can buy their yarn in one of two ways. You can buy a single ball, or you can buy a 4-pack. I bought 2 4-packs, so I have 8 total. And I plan to make the Collett tee by Witre Design. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the designer name, but it's the Collett tee. So I'm going to use this yarn to make that t-shirt. So yes, I don't know what else to say about that. Oops. It's lovely yarn. Lots of cottons. It feels really nice. If you mix cotton with merino, it feels really, really good. Cotton by itself it really just depends. I know the Kobu from Lions Brand, that's really nice. Cotton yarn. I don't know if it's mixed with anything. I think it might be. All right. And then the last purchase I got is this guy. This is a supported spindle for spinning fiber. I keep seeing these pop up in fellow YouTuber videos, and so I thought, hey, I want to try that. Especially it'd be kind of nice to be able to take spinning on the go, since my big spinning wheel is not very portable. So I went on Etsy to see if I could find a relatively inexpensive one, because these are actually on the more pricier side, and half the time you don't even get the bowl with it, which when I purchased this, the bowl was not with it. I had to order it after the fact. I thought I could use a bowl that I already own, but this did not spin as well as it does in this thing that is made for it. But yes, these are quite pricey. So this is, I believe, is the Russian style supported spindle. As you can see, I've tried so far. It is not that easy. It's definitely going to take some practice, but this is so smooth, so soft. These are both from the same person. So what's really nice is while I went on Etsy to find something, I actually purchased from somebody here local in Colorado. So that was great. It came really, really fast. The person who sells these, I don't know if he makes them, quite possibly, but this is the bottom too. It's really lovely. Like he shipped them out the same day. And if it wasn't the same day, it was the very next morning. So I had them within a day or two. So let me show you. This thing spins really nice, really long in this bowl because I tried a ceramic bowl and it did not want to spin that long. I'm not even twisting it as fast as it could go. Yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out how to get this to work, and if it doesn't ever work, it's a beautiful little decoration that didn't cost me too much. I think all in all, it was like $50 for both of these. But yeah, it's just something I gotta try out, practice with. It's not that easy. So that's it. Hopefully that one did not do whatever it did last time. We will see. Oh, it froze. Okay, sorry. That's it though. So I do hope that you have a wonderful week. I appreciate you stopping by and spending your time with me. That always makes my day. If you are not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. But that's totally up to you. All right. I'm also going to try a different editing software, so let's see how this goes. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.